In the quiet suburban streets of Enfield, North London, during the late 1970s, an ordinary council house became the center of one of the most infamous and hotly debated paranormal cases in history. Known today as the Enfield Poltergeist, this chilling series of events would go on to shock the world, fuel media firestorms, and become the subject of multiple books, television programs, and a feature film. But what really happened inside 284 Green Street? Was it a genuine case of supernatural disturbance, or was it all an elaborate hoax designed to attract attention? In this documentary, we will explore every layer of the case, piece by piece, based on original testimonies, documented evidence, media reports, and expert analysis. Prepare to question everything you think you know about the supernatural, as we journey deep into one of England's most terrifying ghost stories. This is not just a tale of flickering lights and moving furniture. This is a case that challenges the very boundary between the natural and the paranormal. The family at the center, the Hodgsons. Our story begins with the Hodgson family, Peggy Hodgson, a single mother, and her 4 children, Margaret, Janet, Johnny, and Billy. They lived in a modest semi-detached council house in Enfield. Life was relatively normal until one night in August when Janet and her brother Johnny reported hearing strange shuffling noises in their bedroom. That was the spark that lit a chain reaction of bizarre and disturbing events. Initially, the disturbances were subtle. Furniture moved slightly, knocking sounds echoed through the walls, and the children complained of an unsettling presence. Peggy was skeptical at first, believing her children were merely playing pranks. But soon, she experienced the strange phenomena herself. Heavy furniture slid across the floor unaided, loud knocking sounds shook the house, and items flew through the air in full view of witnesses. The growing disturbance. Word of the strange occurrences quickly spread. Neighbors were called in. The police were even summoned and reportedly witnessed a chair move across the floor on its own. But it was when the media entered the scene that the Enfield case took on a life of its own. Daily Mirror reporters Doug Bence and Graham Maurice visited the home and allegedly saw the phenomena firsthand. Maurice even captured images of Janet being flung through the air, photographs that would become iconic representations of the case. By now, the strange happenings had escalated. Voices were heard. Objects flew through the air. Cold spots were felt. Janet, the middle daughter, appeared to be the epicenter of the activity. She began speaking in a deep, gravelly voice, claiming to be possessed by the spirit of a man named Bill Wilkins, a former occupant of the house who had died there years before. The investigators step in. With media attention surging, the Society for Psychical Research, SPR, sent investigator Maurice Grosse to examine the case. Grosse was later joined by fellow researcher Lyon Playfair. Both men would spend extended time with the family and document hundreds of incidents. Their notes were extensive, detailing moving furniture, disembodied voices, and Janet's trance-like states. Playfair and Grosse believed the case to be genuine, though they acknowledged moments where the children may have faked activity. However, they argued that the sheer volume of unexplained events could not be dismissed so easily. Skeptics were quick to offer alternative explanations: mass hysteria, attention-seeking behavior, and even the possibility of ventriloquism by Janet. But for every skeptical theory, there was a counterpoint, evidence or eyewitness testimony that could not be easily dismissed. Janet, the focal point of mystery. Janet Hodgson was just 11 years old when the disturbances began. Over the course of the investigation, she was filmed being thrown from her bed, heard speaking in bizarre voices, and seen performing strange physical feats. Her behavior often raised suspicions, but also deep concern. Janet herself later admitted that she and her siblings occasionally faked incidents when under pressure. But she has also consistently claimed that the core of the events was real and terrifying. Could it be that a frightened child acted out under media scrutiny while still being genuinely affected by forces she didn't understand? The voice, Bill Wilkins. The voice that spoke through Janet identified itself as Bill Wilkins. According to the recordings made by Grosse and Playfair, this voice revealed details about his death that were not publicly known at the time but were later confirmed through records. Bill claimed to have died in the very chair found in the living room of the Hodgson's home. This development shocked even the skeptics. Was it possible that a young girl could fabricate such details? Or was Janet somehow channeling a real entity? The recordings remain some of the most compelling evidence in the entire case. Scientific and paranormal debate. The Enfield Poltergeist case divided the scientific and paranormal communities. Some researchers supported the Hodgsons and pointed to the vast documentation as evidence of a genuine haunting. Others believed the case to be a complex mix of psychological issues, manipulation, and media hype. Yet the case continues to intrigue, decades later. It has become a benchmark in poltergeist studies, frequently cited, but never fully explained. Even today, skeptics and believers find themselves at odds over the events that took place in that small home in North London. Media, movies, and cultural impact. The Enfield case has inspired countless television programs and films, most notably The Conjuring 2, which dramatized the story for a global audience. While the movie took creative liberties, it helped reintroduce the Enfield Poltergeist to a new generation. But does this media attention help or hurt the credibility of the original case? Some argue that dramatization overshadows the real facts, while others believe it brings much-needed visibility to a true paranormal event. Regardless, the story of Enfield is now embedded in popular culture. Where are they now? The Hodgson family eventually moved on with their lives. Janet, in particular, has lived with the legacy of the haunting for decades. She has given numerous interviews but continues to maintain that something unexplainable happened to her family. Maurice Grosse passed away in 2006, still convinced of the truth behind the Enfield case. Lyon Playfair wrote a book about the experience and remained an advocate for its authenticity. The Enfield Poltergeist remains one of the most well-documented and controversial paranormal cases of all time. Was it a hoax, a misunderstood psychological phenomenon, or a genuine brush with the supernatural? As you've heard throughout this documentary, the truth may lie somewhere in between. Maybe the haunting was real but amplified by media and public attention. Or perhaps the skeptics were right, and we're simply seeing the result of fear, confusion, and imagination. But what do you believe? Do you think the Enfield Poltergeist was a genuine haunting or an elaborate hoax? Do children have a unique connection to the supernatural? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow believers or skeptics, and subscribe to the Grim Tapes for more terrifying true stories every week. Until next time, stay curious, and stay cautious.